everybody. My name is Marsh, and welcome to my review of the finale for HBO's Last of Us. Let's jump into it. So, to start out, if you can leave a like and subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. But let's go ahead and jump into the review. This is going to be a spoiler-filled review, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, feel free to click off this video and then come back to it and watch it. Other than that though, let's go ahead and get started. In terms of structure of this video, there's a few things I want to tackle. One would be how the finale was as an adaptation, how the finale was as a TV show, separate from adaptation, and then I want to do like an overall encompassing of the show itself, and maybe a final part where I talk about the setup for the sequel Last of Us 2. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the overall pros and cons of the episode, what I thought about it, and how it handled the finale of The Last of Us. So I always like to start out with a pro to keep things positive and glass half full. So the pro I wanted to talk about is how they handled the finale, specifically in certain aspects of it, how I'm glad they didn't shoehorn in things for the sequel to benefit the sequel. Now, this would be going into spoilers for Last of Us 2, so I'm not going to mention it, but I'm glad how they stuck to what was faithful in terms of the ending itself for the finale with the game, in terms of Joel killing the Fireflies, picking up Ellie, shooting Marlene, and taking her back to the camp with Tommy and lying to her in the end about what really happened. I'm happy they did that. That's a pro right off the bat. My first con, though, was that opening scene with the voice actress for Ellie. I don't feel like it was necessary. I feel like they were doing that opening scene to justify the line later in the show where Marlene says, "I'm the only one that knows how you feel," because Joel has that father-daughter relationship with Ellie, and Marlene saying she has like a mother-daughter connection with Ellie, essentially, with that line, because of her connection with Ellie's mother. I don't believe any of that was in the game. It has been like 6 years or more since I played it, so I don't remember exactly, but I don't believe we saw Ellie's mother giving birth. I don't like how they kind of explained why she's immune. It was always left up to mystery before, and so them explaining how it happened kind of pisses me off, to be honest. Not like angry, I'm going to riot pissed off, but I don't think it was necessary. I think it's fine leaving it a mystery, and that's part of it, because it essentially means that we know Marlene knows how it happens. So yes, you can multiply the cordyceps in her mind to spread them out to other people and all of that, so that you can cure people theoretically. But, I mean, essentially, if anyone has a baby, you could just have the mother get bit before you slice the umbilical cord, and that will make them immune. And Marlene knows that. And so, I guess she doesn't know the exact timing because we didn't see it, but I just don't like that birth scene, what they did with it. I get why they did it, to give emotional impact behind Marlene's words. I just don't find it necessary, and I actually think it hurts the story more than it helps, because it shows how Ellie's immune, and I don't think an explanation is necessary, because I think sometimes mystery is better. But that's really my biggest gripe in terms of the episode itself. There's other gripes I have in terms of the season overall, but for this episode, as it stands, that's my biggest gripe. Going back to a pro of the episode, I really enjoyed the beginning, the happy stuff with the giraffes, the landscape, Ellie and Joel connecting with each other. We hear Joel talking about how he almost committed suicide after his daughter Sarah died, and him emotionally being open to Ellie like that. That was good to see. Great acting by Pedro and Bella Ramsey, and it was good overall. It's hard to go on rambling in a video when you don't have many complaints, to be honest, but that was positive. I thought everything, the emotional beats were handled positively. The action, even though some points it was a little unbelievable, I guess, like just going down hallways, mowing down people, it still was done decently well in certain parts. I think the part they do real well is showing how brutal Joel is. Essentially, when you're trying to hurt his family, what he'll do to protect his family. Like the guy who's surrendering, he shoots him in the head. Or even Marlene, she's like begging for his life, and he's like, "No, you'll just come after me." Or the doctor. Like, he is not going to let anyone get his way or deal with any bullshit to save Ellie, which shows his devotion to her, which is good. And then we obviously see her question him later in the car, like what happened, and he lies to her. Same thing happens in the games. And I think the part that always gets me, at least in the game, is later when they are the very final scene where they're like, swear to me that you didn't lie about anything that happened with the Fireflies. And he's like, says, I swear. And then she's just like, okay. Cut to black. I think it's a beautiful ending. I know some people are probably going to be pissed off. I think I'd be interested, if you haven't played the games, what do you think about the ending overall? What's your take on it? It's an interesting thought experiment, I would say, because I personally love a tragedy. I love the ending itself because it's not stereotypical and it is going against the norm. And I think it is one of the best endings in any video game of all time. And I don't know if it lands the same amount of impact as it does in the TV show, but that might just be me knowing it's coming. So I would like to hear from someone who hasn't seen the video game what you thought about it, because I knew it was coming. So obviously it was still good, but it's not going to hit the same emotional impact. But what do you think about it overall? The twists, the turns. I think one con I do have is how quickly the episode went. Now, I know the whole show is pretty fast-paced for the most part, but they just get flashbang and don't really explain anything. I feel like there could have been a little more explanation, a little more happening, but I mean, it still got resolved in a good way. And it was good because I know a lot of people going in were thinking that how are they going to wrap everything up? Do they have enough time? Do they rush through these other episodes to do this? Like, how are they going to handle it? But overall, really good. 8.5, 9 out of 10 for the episode. It just depends on your opinion, what you think about it. Now that we talked about the episode, let's talk about the season overall slightly. I've only given you one episode that I reviewed in the beginning, but overall the season I thought was pretty good. My biggest complaint was probably them focusing too much on other things instead of progressing with the main story. And in particular, it was with the Kathleen character, I believe her name was, where they had 2 episodes on her. I feel like that could have been 1 episode with Henry, Sam, and Kathleen, and then instead use that extra episode to develop something further or to not rush other things. Because we missed a whole scene when in episode 8 where Ellie was supposed to be fighting with the preacher dude inside of, like, against zombies, and that was supposed to help build the trust between them before he betrays her. And so now, like, rushing that, for example, and rushing through a few other things is probably the biggest flaw the show has, and focusing longer time on things that aren't necessary. The episode with Bill and Frank was amazing, but it also kind of took away from the main story, like in the sense that it's a separated thing. I think as like a short story, it's amazing, and like it's Grammy or Emmy worthy by itself, but it does take away from the main story, and it is separated. And it's like, if we had a few more episodes by HBO, I think they could have developed and fleshed out things a bit more, and it would be even better. That being said, the season as a whole is still great and amazing. I'm just nitpicking, to be honest. Like, there's only a few things like that. There's a few believable moments with, like, zombies and stuff. Like, zombies could have been a bit more present in this. I know the whole point is that humans are the real monsters. Like most zombie shows, that's the stereotype. But they could have had zombies a little more in the forefront. It would have been interesting to see them dive into the hive mind of the cordyceps, because they introduced this concept of the hive mind with the cordyceps, but they never really went anywhere with it. So it's like, what's the point? Why did we have to change it? I get changing it so that you don't have to do the gas particles, but the whole hive mind aspect, why did we even bring that up if you're not going to do anything with it? I don't know. That was a little bit of a disappointment, to be honest. But overall, I still give the series probably an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. 8.75. We'll split it down the middle. I think certain parts are rushed of it, and certain things could be extended out and done better. But overall, it was amazing. The acting was great. I'm excited for season 2, despite people's opinions on the second game. But talking about season 2, let's go ahead and jump into implications and things that I enjoyed about that. Now, at this point of the video, if you haven't played The Last of Us 2, feel free to click off this video. I don't want to spoil you. But if you have, feel free to stay on, and I want to talk about a few things. Okay, there's your warning. Spoilers now. So, one thing I'm glad that they didn't do was try to set up Last of Us 2 with the finale. I was worried that they're going to give us like a cameo of Abby or some type of thing connecting it, and I'm glad they didn't do that. They stuck to Last of Us 1 with how it was supposed to be, just Joel rescuing Ellie. I was afraid that we were going to see like a flashback or like Abby seeing her dad get murdered or something like that, and them trying to set up something for season 2 that would just be dumb. I'm glad they didn't do that. That is an automatic positive. Now going into season 2, it'd be interesting to see what they do. I don't think they're going to change anything in the game. They might change little things, but like the majority of the story, I think they're going to keep. I think partly because Neil Druckmann and all of them are like kind of not cocky, but confident in their writing. They, for example, think Last of Us 2 is a masterpiece. My main gripe with Last of Us 2 is that they force you to play as an unlikable character that you are taught to hate and you're not supposed to like for a majority of the game, and it takes us away from the characters that we love. The story itself I still find good overall though, but that's like my main gripe gameplay wise, is spending all this time with a character you hate. It's more of a gameplay issue I have with Last of Us 2 than the story. So I think it'll be fine as a TV show and the way they adapt that, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of changes they make, if any. Overall though, it was a great season of TV. My main objective and the main thing I wanted out of this show was for them just to not fuck it up. And I don't think they fucked it up. I think they did a good service to it. And this is one of the only successful video game adaptations now. And hopefully it gets other companies other than HBO and other brands to learn to adapt video games more often and do them loyally. Not like Halo, where they make Master Chief show his butt the whole time and take off his mask literally episode 1. And so many other horrible video game adaptations. Please. A lot of video games have great stories. Just follow the story, do it well, and honor the story. And people will enjoy it. But what did you think about The Last of Us overall? Anything you hated? Anything you didn't like the changes on? Anything you loved in particular? Let me know. If you're going to talk about Last of Us 2 stuff, give a spoiler warning so that other people don't get spoiled in the comments down below. Other than that, though, thank you for watching. If you could leave a like and subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.